Hi there. Haven't been streaming for a while. So I'm traveling, but I found some time today. So it's been a couple of it's been more than a week, right? So because I have some time today, I'm gonna continue working on the Metroidvania tutorial that we left off early last week. Let's jump right in. I'm using my laptop here, so it's so the interface I have here is a little bit different than usual. I'm just familiarizing myself with streaming on my new device. Let's just jump right into the article, and I'm gonna try and catch up on where I left off. So with part 13, what I'm focusing on is upgrading the health UI, and we were halfway through the article, right? And we have a working health system, which is fantastic. And I've got to explain this UI health script, right? Works in a simpler and more robust manner compared to the health controller script. Instead of, let me just test out everything first and make sure that everything works fine. So if you're in the stream, say hi. If you have any questions with the tutorials that you are that you're watching from us, feel free to ask your questions as well. Let me just attach a power source to my laptop. Alright, I'll be right back. I just realized that it's not connected to any power. Okay, I'm back. Alright, let's start writing some stuff. So the new UI health script works in a simpler and more robust manner. It's much more configurable, it's decoupled. And most importantly, it allows you to change your HUD sprites. There's also a container path and fill path, which, well, I have to explain as well, right? Let me see how it can get started. The UI screen script that we inherited from the previous part. So how the health is updated compared to in the past? What the HUD controller did, right, was, let me just find the player controller script. Where is it? So how we used to handle health was we had the UI manager handle the, oh man, it's been a while. Let me just pull up the other project and refresh my own memory on that. How do we do that in part 12 again, the updating of health? we have a callback right on health change. Okay, it's right here. Works in a simpler and much more robust manner. Compared to the hard controller script. Why? Needs a lot less configuration because the hard controller script this new script is much better than works in a simpler but more robust manner. Explain. Well, better. It's gonna let ChatGPT do the writing for me. This would be the smart thing to do. The UI screen script made previous. I This new script has several advantages over the old app controller. Comes to handling the health UI of the player. Starters, it has more options than the old. Allows us to subdivide a simple function. may change. Changing the something we will discuss further later. Why can't I move it? There we go. The UI health component is much more configurable. Let me see where the HUD controllers set up. I think it should be here, right? HUD control. So part 4 is where we set up the HUD controller as well. Now, where is the HUD controller script? It's right here. Let's grab a screenshot. So much less. Modularized, and as a result, much less complicated setup. Controller. Controller script was patched to the UI manager game object, and you had to for that to work with the player controller. This meant that if the player modified this means that the controller script will isn't very flexible. Strictly only work with especially awkward part. Much less simpler. By using the player controller, is makes our code especially prone to errors. For instance, if you had a scene where you had the HUD controller attached to something, your object on the scene, the start function will cause multiple errors. There are multiple errors because the controller instance now reference exception error. This is not very healthy for development. Multiple people are working on the project. Plus, errors. Why create news? New UI help script is a lot easier to use than the old and much can be used to display the health of not just player but anyone else as well. Usually we simply get a reference to the Y health component we want to update and call the refresh function on it like so. Specify the amount of health maximum health should have, so as the excess health and the UI health script will take the information and draw the hearts accordingly. How the hearts will be drawn will depend on things that you place into the UI health component. Most important settings here are the first three. Most of the settings you find in the UI help component inherited UI screen. The ones that are not square. Why? Hi there. How do I say your name? Sand UX. Going good? Well, it's actually not been a very good day, but you know, hey, whether the day is good or not, the work is always there. There's always stuff to be done, so it's always better to be working on something than not, right? Thanks for popping into the stream. It was getting a little lonely here. Are you following the tutorials on the channel? You must be an aspiring game developer, right? Why was the UI health component coded to inherit from UI screen? Thank you so much. Well, I mean, it's up and down, right? Life's like that, and I'm frankly quite fortunate, and my life is mostly up. You know, it's just occasionally I get overwhelmed because there's a lot of stuff to work on. So I do client work as well, you know. So I have client work. I have some collaboration with some friends as well, and I have these streams to do. I have articles to write, and when school starts, it's the holiday is school vacation now. But when school starts, I have classes to teach as well. So um, as I was writing this article, I just got a like I just thought, wow, there's a lot of stuff got to do, and I just felt a little overwhelmed. So if you came earlier on the stream, you would have seen me zoning out a little bit. I think I put a little too much on my plate, you know. It's something that I have to learn to manage and keep in check. Tell me a bit about yourself. Well, how did you find the stream? Was drawn. Why does UI have it's funny you say. Oh, it's a lot of work, man. It's so much work. When I first started creating series, right? The idea was, wow, look at the. Let me just adjust the text size a little bit over here. It's really huge. Some configuration error here probably. Let me see how I can make it smaller. There we go. It's just a lot of work. Like the coding itself is a lot of work, but then the writing of everything is I didn't think it'd be so difficult. I just did this to get some subscribers. You know, I just wanted to put some videos on YouTube that people will watch forever, and then I can just get passive income forever, right? That was the plan. But YouTube had a thing where they told us you need 1,000 subscribers and you need a certain amount of watch time. I didn't want to buy subscribers from the internet, so we actually started off just creating like short videos answering Unity questions. But to get subscribers, I thought we'd have to create some videos, and that's how I ended up here doing a lot of work. You know, it's not all bad. I think like we've gotten and I never thought that the tutorials would be as useful as it is, that people will find it as useful as they did. So really appreciate that. That was really just stroke of luck, you know. And then we have people who support us via Patreon, which is really, I really appreciate that. It's all a stroke of luck, man. So I didn't have a plan. It's just trying stuff and it just worked out. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop the questions either on stream. I'll be happy to answer you, or you can drop by our articles and look at the community forums, and you can ask your questions there as well. Thank you very much. I mean, personally, I find that there are a lot of areas where the tutorials can improve on. Perhaps this is just, I mean, some of the ways that in the earlier parts of this series, you'll find that some of the things, the way they are coded, it's not exactly the most effective or the most efficient. It works, but the Metroidvania series in particular has quite a few bugs, which is why I'm jumping in here to clean things up. Most of the settings you find in UF component UF. Primarily because UI screen has a fake be easily coded classes everything be faded in and out using activate fully activate functions that we created in the previous. There may be times when you choose to hide your for various reasons when showing concept. Thank you so much. It was years of, you know, we've been doing this for quite a few years. So that's why there's so much content. It's to be honest, it's much easier if you were to create like sensation. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it's easier because I haven't figured out the formula, right? If we did, then maybe I would have moved on to create those things. But all these videos are all driven by the comments that you guys leave, you know, like the positive comments and everything. I don't think the videos capture everything, but I'm glad that the effort that we put in comes across. It's amazing because you know, I have like maybe 3 or 4 people on stream every time, but then whenever you leave messages like this, it makes me feel a lot better. Sometimes it's just a slog, you know. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to drag you. I don't want to drag the energy level down, you know. To be honest with you, I consider myself very lucky already, but you know, we sometimes don't appreciate the things that we have, you know. I really like when you guys come in and leave these words of gratitude. It really makes me feel better, and I guess I really should appreciate this more, you know, and not like keep thinking about, you know, okay, so I need this, I need this, I need that done, I have this that I haven't done so well and all that stuff. Today is just not a very good day for me. I'm so sorry. Let me change the tune a little bit, okay? If you need any help with the series, more than happy to help. Are you a student now? Are you a working adult? Are you, because some of the people who come in here sometimes they'll ask questions about like like, hey, I'm a student and I want to do this and I don't know how to go about doing this, and you know me, because I've been doing this for quite a while. I started doing games when I was very young. I studied games, and after I graduated from the school where I studied games development, I decided, hey, I'm actually gonna do web development and just do general coding because there's more money in it. Pretty money driven guy, if I would be honest. And so I did a lot of web development. I did university in a totally different course, and it's just much easier to make money programming than it is to make games, and that is why I moved. But I was very lucky in that after I graduated from uni, like very soon, actually before I graduated, my lecturer from school, he asked me if I wanted to teach because they had a shortfall of programming lecturers. So my involvement in the games industry is mostly just in the teaching side, specifically teaching games programming, and I bring expertise from web development also. Because a lot of times, if you have games and you want to have an online element to it, right, then you need to have an understanding of the web development as well. And really, coding is not that much different whether it's games or web. I think games are a lot harder to code. Like, games are the hardest things to code, man. Like, the logic is just impossible sometimes. Games are very complex pieces of software. So I often find myself preferring, because I teach programming classes as well, and I actually prefer to teach programming classes that are not game related, just because the codes are a lot easier to handle, you know. Whereas if I go to a game dev class, the codes are always impossible, man. It's just a whole ton of, if you look at the forums, right, it's just a whole ton of codes that are like just really hard to solve. And that's why I put an AI into the forum to help me answer questions. It's still in its infancy. That AI is says the stupidest thing sometimes, but it's progress, you know. You are a system engineer, you want to learn to make games, and tutorials are useful. Sometimes the bugs are inevitable and it's horrible. Well, the bugs are very much avoidable, I think. But when these tutorials were created, I just didn't. So I have my students, and like they intern under me, some of them, and they help to create these tutorials. So there's a lot of these bugs could have been avoided if I had followed the development much closer. I mean, I was overseeing it, but you know, I didn't look very properly into some of the codes, and which is why we ended up here where now, fixing the bugs in later parts, you know. So it's a planning thing. It's 100%. It's a 100% could have been avoided and could have saved you a lot more time with these bugs, to be honest. And with games, if you are using Unity, I haven't tried Godot, but if you're just looking at Unity and Unreal, Unity is a lot easier to pick up. And how Unity works, actually, there is a video on the channel, if you have a look, that summarizes how Unity works. If you watch the 30-minute video, it provides a pretty good base. So it's part of the, if you look at the playlist in the Metroidvania series, there is that video as well, so you can check it out. I was gonna go into the 30-minute summary, but I thought, you know, I have an article to write, so I'm gonna have to watch the video. What do I recommend to start programming something? Like, if you have an idea, how would you make it real? That's a great question. If you are talking about games, right? How do you make your game idea real? I would start by prototyping the game. So let's say if you want to make a game and it's let me think. If you have an idea for a first person shooter with like a twist. Let's say your first person shooter involves no bullets, but then you have to pick up like other characters and throw them at each other. Let's say that's your concept, right? you want to prototype it as fast as possible. So you want to find the fastest way. I think nowadays you have AI, so that makes it a fair bit easier because AI can write your code. You just gotta maybe pay $10 to ChatGPT or $20, and then you can describe what you want to ChatGPT, and they will try and they will try and write the scripts for you. Of course, you gotta assemble the project still. So you want to prototype as fast as possible because you never know. Because in games, we are always working with new ideas, right? And with new ideas, you're not sure whether this will work or not. And sometimes when you try and prototype the idea, you will find, most times actually, you will find that there are gaps in your concept. So by prototyping, it's the fastest way to fit in those gaps as well. So you may find when you prototype the game, like say when the game where you have a shooter and then your bullets are other players, right? You may find that the game doesn't really work if if there are not enough players around. So let's say if it's a 3-player game, it's gonna be really slow, right? For example. So there are some things that when you prototype, you only find out when you prototype, which is why prototyping is so important. And Unity is designed to make it very. Unity is so easy to prototype in Unity because you can just ask ChatGPT for a component, and then you can just plug the component in, and that thing will start working. It's not like Unreal where you have an object, and then you have different components, and like you have different classes, and all these are totally different things. Unity, it's just you write a script, it's component just like any other component in Unity. It's a very high level overview. So for let's say if you want to realize an idea, if you want to start programming, how I learned programming was by I played Warcraft 3 a lot, I played Dota a lot in the past, and how I learned programming was I just started modding stuff. So I looked at Dota and I was like, there were certain things I didn't like about the game. Some animations were not done very well, so I just got into the Warcraft 3. There was a modding tool. It's called the World Editor. I got into that, and then I started coding animations I started recoding the skills that they had in Dota, and I started coding animations for that. And then from there, that's how I learned my programming. And once I learned that program used it used its own proprietary language. It's called Jazz. It's pretty hard to use looking back, but once you learn programming in one field, right, it's very easy for you to translate the skill to other places. So that was really where I started. So if you were to ask me what is the fastest way to learn programming, right, I would say follow a tutorial, follow something, but try modding it. So for example, if you look at my tutorial and say look at tutorial that teaches how to code jumping, right? You want to go and try and see whether you can code double jumping. It's the modding modifying the instructions that you get, right? Where you learn something, because you don't learn something when you're just following tutorials and copying the code. You can understand what's going on, but to actually gain mastery of it, you have to create something yourself. So it's like in math where you if you were to just listen to class, right, and listen to the theory, you wouldn't actually do math very well. You would have to get practice problems and you would have to solve them. That's how you learn math. So in games, it's the same thing. You want to follow tutorials just to get the basics, but you want to try and create something of your own, like based on, let's say you look at parts 1, 2, and 3, right? What are things that are not covered in parts 1, 2, and 3 that you can create yourself as well? Those are where you really learn. And the forums again are a place where you can look at to find to ask questions if you want to add extra features. So you want to focus on that. How do you improve upon the tutorials that we have? How do you improve? Like if you cover something, how do you add an extra feature that's not there? Well, it may break your game for future parts, but it's the breaking and learning, it's the debugging, it's the modding and debugging, I would say, that helps you become better at coding. It's really long-winded, but I hope it makes sense. Just write some stuff down. Just give me a moment. Yeah, I'm just writing a few notes. If you have any other questions, I see there's one more viewer. If you have any questions regarding game development or career in games development or just coding in general, you can shoot them in the chat. I'll respond to you as soon as possible. Okay, let's continue coding. Well, let's continue writing actually. I'm not really coding today. Once so property and script. I see there's a new message. All right, SendUX, thanks for joining the call. I'll see you. All the best. Shows how many divisions. Thank you. See you. Shows how many divisions each chart has. Yeah. Health unit set to and every hack can be 4 half. Let that be 4. Set 3 and then 4 totals and so on. Should be fixed with health per unit. Health unit prefab. This is a prefab that we use to show every unit of similar to the hard container prefab. I really should open a chat on my phone, yeah. Because otherwise I have to switch windows every time. Hi Marcus. Been watching our videos and I'm so glad to hear that. I'm very glad to hear it. How many years have you been coding? Like, do you do anything else or are you purely just interested in learning games? Let me just open the chat on my phone as well, yeah, so I don't have to swap between screens every time. But tell me more about yourself. Like if I were to say something about programming, it's that it's probably the hardest skill that you will learn. And the reason for that is because, well, coding is just tough, man. It's just why is it tough is because the learning curve is just crazy. When I started learning programming, I thought I got good at it, like at first, like after 2 years in, but you know, like, or after 3 years in, because I did a really big project for school after my third year. But then, like, for my fourth, fifth, and sixth year, like for my first couple of years after graduation, I still struggled a lot. So I would say it took me like 5 to 6 years to get like really good at programming. I mean, nowadays it's a lot easier than when I first started, but still I run into roadblocks. And the reason why programming is so difficult is because it's it's a very trial and error kind of skill. The reason why I say it's very trial and error because most of where you learn programming will be when you are debugging stuff. Like a lot of how you learn programming is by debugging stuff and by modding stuff. By modding stuff, I mean like because when you first start learning programming, you'll be following slides or tutorials, right? And then by modding, I mean whatever you learn in class or whatever you learn from our videos, you will have to modify it in some way. So if you have a jump, you want to create double jump, for example, that's not in the video. So through the process of that, because the first time that you're coding something new, you will inevitably run into bugs. And when you run into errors in programming, it's the most frustrating thing because errors are usually it's not written very well. The errors don't tell you where the errors are. I mean, nowadays you have ChatGPT, it makes things a lot easier. But it's very frustrating to solve these errors, debug. This is called debugging. It's like banging your head against the wall, and that's where a lot of people give up. So if you can survive the debugging for a couple of years, like if you code your own programs and you run into errors and you just bang your head against the wall with the errors until you find a way to solve them, that's when you really get good. So that's programming in a nutshell for you. Tell me a little bit more about yourself, and if you have any questions, need any help, do feel free to let me know. It's really heartening to see so many of you just come in and say thanks. You know, I really, really appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. If you see me writing stuff, it's because well, sometimes when I answer questions, I want to clip those questions and post them on the YouTube. It's easy. It's an easy way to get views. So Access health unit prefab. This is the prefab that will be used to show access. These are equivalent to the blue health that you find in online. What does the container path do? This is the path to the same object and continue. Instances. Field. This is the path. cannot be less. Will explain container path and container path more later. Do so. So how do we use the health UI and set it up? Upgrading the health UI script. Upgrading the health UI script. Problems with the health UI. Creating new UI health script. How to use UI. Okay, so now that the component is explained, Implementing. Setting up. Now that we have the new UI help script, let's set it up in our canvas. Okay, so how do we set it up? So the UI help script is in. Let me just paste it in and maybe I shouldn't cover that. I should cover the mana first, right? The UI mana section, and then setting up the new stuff should be after. Let me set up the new health and mana UI on the canvas, and it's easier. So then I'm creating the mana UI script, just like the health UI script. We were creating the way that the mana UI is handled for code 2. Problems, the mana. Problems with the mana, like the health UI, the mana UI. The way the mana UI is coded is not very ideal. In fact, it is. It's much more hard coding. It's much more hard coding with mana UI than there is in the hell UI. The functionality for the mana for the players, mana management, and mana UI mixed together and spread across multiple scripts. So UI manager handles mana, right? For starters, if you remember, the main and sub of the UI handled by completely different scripts from previous parts. The main and sub of UI handled by completely different scripts. find an image of the mana orbs. Mana orbs. So I have this image over here. Okay, I think I'll just okay, let me copy this. I think we can use this. So this is handled by UI manager. It's handled by player controller. Looks like there is a new hi some person. Well, I wasn't doing so great earlier on, but after that some of the viewers came in and we had a chat and I felt better. I really appreciate you guys coming in and you know, talking about I mean, basically people come in and they thank me for the videos and stuff, so I really appreciate it. Why I wasn't feeling so good was because, well, just a little overwhelmed with work, you know. So there was that. But it's always nice to know that whatever I'm doing is helping, and that's that's what cheered me up. So if you're on this stream, you must be a developer. So if you have any questions regarding game development, feel free to pop the questions in the chat. I'll be more than happy to offer some advice. Or if you have any questions, you can drop them here, but you'll be better served if you went to our forums and ask them there. Because in the forums, we have an AI that's equipped to answer coding questions, and I'll check the forums every day to help answer questions as well. You're watching from Canada. I'm currently in Europe, so that's an 8-hour time difference, right? So thank you for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. Oh, I'm in Sweden right now, in a very quaint little city called Gothenburg. So I teach. My main job is basically teaching. I teach in a couple of places as an adjunct lecturer. So I teach all kinds of stuff. I teach web development, I teach Java programming, I teach databases, and most importantly, I teach game programming. And I also in the school that I teach game programming in, they have studio classes as well, where students, they are grouped together to build a game. And then one of the classes I run is just consult students on the games, and I help them mainly with programming. No, I don't speak Swedish. I'm Singaporean. I'm taking a holiday because it's term break for my for the schools that I work for. So I have like 1 month totally free and I can do anything. So I just went to, I guess what, I just went to Europe and I just started walking, you know, because there's a lot of stuff to do, and you know, like really everywhere in the world is the same. Like no matter where I guess there are some cities that are a little dangerous, right? Like some places in, let's say, Peru or Mexico, where maybe things are a little more dangerous. But you know, Europe is pretty much like Singapore. It's the same malls, and then you have like sites, you have nature, and you have cities, and everywhere is the same. So I just find a Wi-Fi in a different city, and I just start walking, clearing my projects, answering client questions, doing streams whenever I'm free. Singapore, how do you like Singapore? Your dad is from Malaysia. So you are an Asian. You are in Canada, but you are an Asian. It's nice to meet a fellow Asian. Canada is really cold, right? When I look at Google Maps, it's like, wow, the temperatures are crazy, man. It's like minus. It's often minus like 20, minus 30, right? Like, how do you handle that? I really enjoy the cold here because I get to do cold showers. You don't get them in Singapore. But other than that, the cold, well, the good thing about the cold is that it increases testosterone, right? And I really like having, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. I like the feeling that, you know, when I take cold showers over here, some article online that says that it makes your manhood bigger. So when I came here, the first thing I did was let's take some cold showers, you know, for the health benefits and manhood benefits as well. You've been to Singapore for less than. I'm reading a chat from my phone, but the icon is being blocked. Less than a day. Singapore is a great place. The best time to visit would be probably November, December, when that's when it gets rainy, but then the weather gets better as well. Maybe December, January is the best. Like if you find a week where there's lesser rain, because the rest of the time, the worst time to visit is like July, August, because it's just really hot and there's no wind. It's not like in colder countries where it's constant wind, right? In Singapore, there are some months where we have like zero wind. So everyone's sweaty, everyone's smelly, and you just gotta survive the heat. I, I don't think. I'm not sure if Asians have a small. I think we are pretty average. What you see on The Hangover is not. Leslie Chow is not representative of all of us. But then again, you know, like I'm a guy, so I haven't seen a lot of. I've seen womenhood, right? But I haven't seen manhood. If you get get the idea. So if you ask women, I think they'd have a better idea of different different races and the size of the manhood. You know, like I would be more. You know, like guys would be more. Guys would have seen like women parts more, right? And women would have seen guy parts more. If that makes sense. So I don't know. I don't know what the sizes for Asia are. Like I have no problem in the department, but then when you, I mean, on the internet you see like some people have like 7 inches, 8 inches, right? I mean, how I don't see how that's possible. You know, like you've got to wrap it around your leg or something, right? If you have 8 inches of that stuff, it's a little overboard. But the internet is the internet, right? Like everyone's like 6 feet and like blonde hair, blue eyes or something, you know, on the internet. You know? Yep, we should. Do you get very cold water? You know, like we originally started talking about this because of cold showers, right? Like beyond the manhood stuff, cold showers have a lot of health benefits. So when I came to Sweden, the first thing I did was like just every morning, right, just jack the shower head like to the coldest setting. Apparently it makes you it releases certain hormones into your body that makes you healthier. Like there is some science for that. And you can't do that in Singapore because our water is like 25 degrees, 30 degrees. And on bad, like during July, our water is basically like 30, 32, 33 degrees. Can't even get a cold shower in Singapore. How long have I been in Sweden? I've been in Sweden for just let me check my calendar. About 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks. Sweden is it's nice. Sweden is like most of Europe actually. Like so, if among the cities I visited in Europe, like they all look they all look the same. It's just the demographics are different. Sweden is still very much Europe has a big migrant problem, right? I mean, depending on where you're coming from, I see it as a problem because it's unchecked. Like it's not checked, but the Scandinavian countries don't really have that issue. I'm not sure why, but like if you go to Germany or if you go to London, it's you don't see a lot of white people in the cities, in the main cities, but in Sweden, very much it's this the Scandinavians are still pretty much the majority here, so it's quite different, and I think it's a nice change of pace in that sense, like to I just thought it was weird because I never been to Europe until later in life when because Europe's expensive, right? And then to go there and to think it's a white country, but then it's very mixed and there are very few whites, so I thought it was just a little strange. But in Sweden, it's very much like that. But architecture is the same as the rest of Europe. Maybe because I'm not from here, so I can't appreciate the differences. I can't tell a German from like say a Czech or whatever. I think they can tell. It's like over here if you look at what's that? If you I was in Slovakia once and I saw this restaurant. That's the funniest thing ever. I saw this restaurant, right? And the restaurant says like Shanghai something, like it's Chinese restaurant, right? And they were serving sushi. So it's just the sushi is Japanese, it's not Chinese, but it's funny. And over here you have like Vietnamese restaurants or whatever, and to them it's all the same, it's Asian. So if you are an Asian restaurant, you have to serve sushi. Have I ever? Yes, I've been to Malaysia many times. It's the nature is nice. The islands are nice. Like Southeast Asia has beautiful. I think Southeast Asia is like everywhere you go is the same as well. I think Asia is the same as Europe in the sense that the trees that you get, the leaves, whatever. It's a lot of it is very similar. So in Malaysia, you get very nice beaches. You get very nice rainforests. It's very lush. The whole place is very lush. Malaysia is a very nice place. Like if you're a nature person, you love it, and there are very nice beaches. There is this island. It's called Rawa Island, and it's just a small island with a slide and occasional there's an occasional swarm of jellyfish on the beaches, but otherwise it's like a resort place. It's very nice. It's like 1 hour away from main island, so you have a lot of that in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Bali is a very famous place, right? Where you have like beaches and stuff. Do you like Malaysia? It's quite different from Canada, right? I would imagine you go Malaysia in the winter when everything is like -20, -30. It's probably when you go, right? Handled by Mana Ops. And aku tak tahu bahasa Melayu. Does that answer your question? Aku bercakap Melayu sikit. That's all I know of Malay. In Singapore, we do have a little bit of that, but I didn't spend the time to pick it up. Nope, not fluent at all. You understand? You understand what I said? Like the. I think you understand, right? Because you're Malaysian. Like your dad is Malaysian, so. So when I go to Malaysia or Indonesia, I just know one line. And the line is saya tahu bahasa. Saya tahu Melayu. Yes, I speak Mandarin. I'm a Chinese man. Definitely speak Mandarin. I, are you mixed or are you Asian? And how do you find Canada? Tell me a little bit about Canada. Because my imagination is it's a beautiful place. You speak English and French. So your dad is Malaysian, but you are mixed Asian and mixed people are usually very good looking, right? In Singapore, like we have some very good looking mixed people like Caucasian and usually it's Caucasian and Chinese we have, and these people are usually very good looking. So I imagine you are good looking devil as well. What's the best? What's the one thing about Canada that you like the most? Do you like the cold? Do you like the entertainment, the weather? What do you like? You don't know? You don't know what you like? If you don't know, that means you don't like it very much, huh? Mana UI problems. Mana UI is handled by 3 different groups. Are you studying now? You are a student? Not always cold. That's great. The cold is great, you know. As Singaporean, I like the cold. I like the cold for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks. After that, I get sick of it. It's tough, man. The cold is tough. You know, Singaporeans are like they're dying at like 20 degrees. I used to be one of them. Like you give a Singaporean a 20-degree room, right? They're gonna freeze, which is so ridiculous. You have free healthcare and free education. Wow, that's taxes are through the roof though, right? But well, I mean, like Singapore's taxes are going through the roof as well, and and we don't have free healthcare, so that's one thing you have on us. different scripts, and the additional. I know someone from Singapore, but he isn't Chinese. He is a Malay. The Malays in Singapore are the indigenous people. Oh yeah, for sure. Singapore is a tax haven, right? It's where rich people come. We are talking on so many things that are dangerous. First we talk about manhood, and now we're talking politics. But here we go. So Singapore, how some people are saying that we are maintaining, because we are, every government wants growth, right? So people are saying, the citizens especially, because a lot of us are not very happy with the government. I think if you are a foreigner, you will love Singapore. Like, I have foreigner friends, and they all love Singapore. And I've dated girls who are foreigners as well, and they love Singapore, man. Because you get more benefits over here as foreigners. So their strategy is to attract foreigners and the money that comes along with it. So especially the rich people, and that's how some people are saying our government is keeping the economic prosperity of the country. So then, whenever the rich people come, then everything inflates, and that's causing a big squeeze on the average person. I'm very average, so I don't feel the squeeze yet. I think because I'm lucky, I'm lecturing, and it pays pretty decent. But a lot of people are feeling the squeeze, and people are saying that it's because of the foreign money, and then there's a lot of black money as well coming into Singapore. Again, tax haven, right? So there's low taxes here. That's why everyone's coming here. I guess you can say our government is smart. They're slowly moving away from, our government used to be awesome, like they really took care of us, but I think that generation has passed, and today it's a little more capitalist, a lot more capitalist. Any difference between the Mandarin of Singapore and the Mandarin of China? Yes. The Chinese from Singapore, we all came from a certain part of China. If you go to Google Maps and you search for Fujian, that's Fujian. Most of the Singaporeans came from there. So we all speak the same way. We have the same accent. We sound very similar to Taiwanese. So that's because we're all from the east, the eastern part of China, and we were all descended from the poorer people, from the people who couldn't survive in China when the communists took over in the 40s and 50s, and a lot of there was there was a drain of wealth, like because of because of what Mao did with his policies, his communist policies, right? I think there were a couple of things that he did that caused China to wealth drain, and then a lot of the poorer people, the ordinary people in these cities, because they couldn't survive there, they couldn't find work there, they came over to Singapore. I think even during the war we had people, so it wasn't so it wasn't because of, it wasn't just during the Mao era. It's actually much earlier, before World War II. Now that I think about it, so before World War II, we had the Qing dynasty, and because it was handled very badly, so then a lot of the coolies, a lot of the fishermen, they couldn't survive in China. They came over to Singapore to find themselves a better living, and find their kids a better living. They would send money home because they could find work here that they couldn't find in China. How do people speak Mandarin? Well, that's a whole other topic. That's it's a pretty How far do you want me to go into this? Because I've studied linguistics, so I can give you a detailed answer or I can give you a simple answer. Simple answer is because we learn from young. So just like how if you would ask me to learn French, I would have some trouble, right? Or if you ask me to learn Latin, I would have some trouble because the sentence structure is totally different from English. I'm Chinese and I'm an English person and I speak English as well because Singapore, right? The additional mana orbs also handle the mana supply and also completely handled by the mana orbs handlers. And the excess mana that the additional mana orbs provide are completely handled by basically the player controller script handles both the mana and UI display of the main ball of mana. Wow. Yeah. Extra optional mana and the excess mana they provide are handled by the UI manager. Finally, we have the UI manager. Handles the halving of player dumps. While spreading the code over multiple scripts, it's not a bad thing. It is important to there to be a clear separation functionality between the scripts. Player controller being in charge of minimize errors and keep things organized. Which will keep things organized. Keep things organized. And this keeps things organized and minimizes errors in the long run. Player controller being in charge of the player character should manage the excess mana as well and not let its UI scripts do it. It should also not be responsible for handling the UI. It also should not be handling the mana mana the man, what's going on? The scripts responsible for handling mana UI should be handling both the main mana board the UI manager should not handle anything. It should simply serve as the bridge between the player, controller, and the mana UI script. This will give us a clear separation. I forgot the term that's used to describe this. Let me complete the last sentence. Does it make sense to say clear separation? Programming separation of concepts. This will give us a clear separation of concerns between the scripts. Go a long way to make not just error-free, but also less error-prone. So next is the UI script itself, right? Be creating the new UI mana script. Fix the above problems, we will create a new UI mana script to replace all mana. This new script will handle the UI for both instead of just the smaller extra. I think we're making good progress today. This is one thing that's going well today. Yeah. Otherwise, today wouldn't have been a very good day. So, thank you for tuning in to watch the stream. Really appreciate it. I'm not going off yet, but I just really appreciate the mood lifter that this stream has given me. For all mana orbs instead of just the smaller ones. Problems with how to use UI, man. Like UI health. This new UI mana script is completely separated from the player character, right? Because the player character, I mean the mana orbs script. Let me just pull that up. Mana orbs handler. The player controller script means that which alleviates same problem that UI have. Where UI mana opt directly reference the player several functions. So these are the functions. UI mana script is completely decoupled from the player controller. And to update it, you simply have to call the refresh function just like UI help. And this refresh function is found in the UI manager like this. Component itself has a bit more complexity than UI have, as it has more fields for us to fill. A lot of it. The reason there are more fields here is because script also upgrades the fixed chance to make some upgrades. The mana of display. Most notably, it's now also responsible main mana or just the excess ones. Do we have an image of the mana ops handler? Mana ops. Don't think so, right? There has also been an upgrade to the have mana UI display. Instead of this, where is the have? Do I have have mana? Let me just demo how the have mana looks like, and I can pause it and catch a screenshot. Then I have to get myself killed though. So I respawn and so now I get this very nice cracked mana UI. New crack mana UI. Right. So additional fuse for either band. Let me just write the table of all the attributes and I'll be done for the day. I'll do another stream this week. I'll schedule something. Want to get this article done and then we can push it up. Property description. Description is align left. So with regards to property, there's quite a few, right? Primary, fill UI, this is the image component responsible in mana org. And then we have access fields UI and array of image components. Oops. Then we also have overlay UI. This is the image component that covers the over the main. Oh, it is replaced with a cracked texture when the mana are under penalty. And then we have default overlay sprite. So what does this do? The sprite for when mana is not under penalty. And then we have the penalty overlay sprite. Penalty overlay sprite. This is the sprite for when mana is under penalty. Now that we have both UI scripts set up and ready to use, let's modify our canvas and implement these new UI. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna be working on for today. I will do another stream. I would like to do another stream either tomorrow or Saturday night. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna head off now. I'm gonna do a workout and I'm gonna be improving upon the AI for the forums before I retire for today. Thanks for joining the stream. You guys have been you guys have lifted my mood. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it always as someone, a couple of people coming in to say thanks for the tutorial. So I'll see y'all around. Again, thank you so much for your support.